You remember Mr. Thirsty? Because we watched Season 6, Episode 18, The Jimmy. So, Katie.
Hello, Derek.
How did Katie like The Jimmy?
Stop it. Stop it right now.
Stop what?
I kind of hated it.
Uh-huh.
But I wrote a lot. I don't know. No, I didn't like it.
Derek didn't take too many notes.
Stop it right now.
So The Jimmy was written by Greg Cavett and Andy Robin.
Who? Oh, Andy Robin I recognize.
This is Greg Cavett's first Seinfeld episode. He goes on to write 9 more.
Mm-hmm.
But Andy Robin wrote 2 other episodes that we saw already. But he also goes on to write a dozen more or so.
Okay.
He wrote The Barber as well as The Junior Mint.
Oh.
This episode was directed by Andy Ackerman, and it aired on March 16th, 1995. Vulture.com ranked it as the 119th best episode.
Yep.
Screen Crush had it at a much too high 64th. IMDb.
Ooh, going into the 10-star system.
We're 104 episodes in. I figure we should start a new ranking system. IMDb gives it an 8.9 out of 10.
No way. No.
So why don't you read the synopsis?
A mutual acquaintance refers to himself strangely. Jerry gets suspicious of Watley. George eats spicy food. I laughed when I wrote that down in the synopsis, but I didn't make the connection until later. Kramer's dental visit leads to a mix-up.
What connection are you talking about?
The fact that you made Kung Pao chicken on the weekend and you would not tell me why, and you said it had something to do with today, and you would not tell me why, and then you kept saying Derek likes spicy chicken. Now I get it.
Isn't it nice when I surprise you with nice things?
It was a delicious meal. It was very spicy.
I don't know how you can eat that stuff.
I ate it really fast because my mouth was in pain, and I was like, well, it's good, but if I eat it fast, it won't additionally hurt me. I'll just shovel it in. Is there any left?
I ate it for lunch today.
Oh, okay. Who are the guest stars?
So we had a returning Bryan Cranston playing the role of Tim Watley. We had Anthony Stark playing Jimmy. He was in Make It or Break It, The George Carlin Show, as well as Return of the Killer Tomatoes. Do you remember the Killer Tomatoes?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What the was that? There's like a franchise of tomatoes coming out of cans and eating people. How is that a thing? How is that a thing?
You know,
how is that a thing? But we can't get another season of Firefly.
So I was listening to a rerun HGTGM episode today, and it was Maximum Overdrive.
Oh yeah.
And the answer to that question is cocaine.
I guess. I feel like this was like Maximum Overdrive is 80s.
Uh-huh.
The Killer Tomato franchise is the 90s.
Well, some people still did cocaine.
I'm sure some people still do, I'm sure. We had Richard Hurd play Mr. Wilhelm. He was in Get Out, Sequest DSV, as well as All the President's Men. He will return for 11 more episodes.
Who's this?
Mr. Wilhelm? George's boss.
The man who accuses George?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the first time we see him, though.
This is the first time we've seen him, yeah. We also had Mel Torme, who played Mel Torme. He was in The Naked Gun, 2.5, The Smell of Fear, The Return of Spinal Tap, as well as Bugs Bunny's Halloween Hijinks.
Oh. So, I don't know of Mel Torme as a singer. Like, I knew he was a famous singer. But the only reason I know who he is that he's mentioned in a song that was on a mixtape somebody gave me. And so my research after the episode was, I have to find that song. I have to find out what it is.
Mm.
And it's in the song Jigsaw Muzzle by Jim Guthrie.
Oh, yeah.
Shut up. Who's from Guelph.
Hmm. What's the rapper's name? Jigsaw Muzzle?
That's the name of the song.
Oh.
That'd be a good rap name, though.
Yo, 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 I'm Jigsaw Muzzle.
Okay, stop. And I think I have a piano book of Mel Torme's. But the interesting thing about this mixtape was that some guy gave it to my friend's roommate. It was a mix CD. And my friend overheard it in her room. And she's like, oh, this is a great mix. Did you make this? She goes, no, so-and-so gave it to me. And she asked her roommate if she could borrow it. She's like, no, a guy gave it to me. Like, it's special. And so when she wasn't home, she went and took it and made a copy. And also gave me a copy. And it lives on. It's still a really good mix.
You stole a present from someone.
Yeah, but she'll never know.
I guess technically it wasn't theft. It was like copyright infringement.
Well, it was originally. We were just repeating the copyright infringement. I think I bought a Jim Guthrie album because of that song on that mix. So it led to...
Specifically because you mentioned Mel Torme?
Yeah, totally. So it led to commerce. So it's not theft. There you go.
Let's throw it back to last week to see if I remember this episode. Jimmy's getting angry.
Is Jimmy a person?
Jimmy is a person. Jimmy wears special shoes and he can jump really high.
Well?
How'd I do?
Derek nailed it.
I think I freaked you out when I...
Yes, of course.
So you didn't like Jimmy?
Nobody likes Jimmy.
Elaine seemed to like Jimmy.
I think she just didn't want to be embarrassed about trying to hit on a gay man again.
I don't know. I think she was kind of like getting into it. She bought a new dress.
She did.
Elaine bought a new dress.
Stop it. She did seem to enjoy being at the concert briefly with Jimmy. Till he came at Kramer and punched him in the face.
Seems like a bit of a psychotic thing to do.
Well, he seems like a bit of a psychotic person. He talks about himself in the third person, which is called Iliism. And it's a sign of narcissism.
Oh, yeah? I don't know. If I could dunk and I was only Jimmy's height, I'd probably be a narcissist too.
So it's a way to distance yourself from anything negative that you might do. And then I think it becomes a habit and you just always refer to yourself that way. But narcissists never take responsibility for their mistakes. It's always somebody else's mistake. So Kramer cost him the... It
was Kramer's fault.
It was Kramer's fault. Blah, blah, blah.
So after the episode, I was doing a little bit of research and it's called dunking and it's a sign of being awesome.
Get out of here. Did you know those shoes are real? Like they were a real shoe that you could buy?
So I wasn't sure about that, and I thought that was the case because
of the tape.
Of the tape,
yeah,
yes.
You noticed the tape,
and you noticed when they messed up, and you could read the brand.
Strength.
Yeah. Strength shoes.
I don't know if I would have believed that they were real until I saw that because they're so stupid looking.
They are pretty stupid looking.
There's another kind of plyometric shoe called jump soles. And they just attach to your own shoes.
Oh, yeah?
So I guess you don't have to walk around wearing stupid-looking horseshoes. So it's probably better.
I don't think they don't work if you don't walk around while you're wearing them. You can't just put them on and sit down. I haven't read the instructions.
I thought that you would play sports in them. Or is the idea that you wear them all the time?
I think the idea is that you wear them all. It's like...
Is it like those dumb rocker shoes?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that I think those dumb rocker shoes are like the opposite. They're supposed to make it easier, and so you expend less energy.
Oh. Maybe I should get jump soles.
Apparently there's some new shoe technology in the marathoning world. And it like...
Is it like blowing up records?
Blowing up records, yeah.
What is it?
The sole is squishier or bouncier or something like that. I think it's like... There's like you're going to have to do a whole bunch of research because I'm about to just spew a bunch of BS. I think there is a carbon fiber like plate in the bottom that like springs you as you like walk, and it is helping long distance running athletes break records. And I think the shoes might be illegal to use in marathons.
Ooh.
Like, remember there was a couple of years ago, there was that guy that finally broke the 2-hour marathon, and it wasn't official because he had a bunch of like pace runners break the wind for him.
Oh.
And it wasn't in an official event, and he was wearing these shoes.
Yeah, I totally remember that.
You don't remember how it rocked the marathoning world?
How many times do you think the word Jimmy is said in this episode?
Oh, a whole bunch.
Just guess.
32.
So not counting, I looked up Seinfeld scripts, not counting the title and like so-and-so plays Jimmy, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's over. Do you want to do another guess?
77.
Over.
What? I was originally going to say 70 something. I thought that was ridiculous. 103.
Over.
1,000.
106 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Cold showers are for psychotics. George said the shower didn't take. He's going to sweat in like 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah. So when I leave jujitsu, like in the dead of winter, I do not need a winter coat.
You should still wear one.
Like, I'm just a heat pump.
So I have the problem that I don't sweat properly. Like, I get Botox in my armpits.
It goes in?
Maybe. Because I get Botox under my arms because I would sweat just sitting around or like sleeping. But I don't sweat when I work out. Even before Botox. And so on balance, I'm like, well, in my life, I probably don't want to have pit stains 24/7. So I'm going to get Botox under my arms, but I still don't sweat when I work out and my face turns purple. And I'm just like, I'm a non-sweating heat pump.
I was at the gym the other week and my coworker was finishing up his workout just as I was like coming in to get changed. And he had sweat so much, it literally looked like he had jumped into a pool fully
I'm so
clothed.
Jealous. I'm so jealous.
It was ridiculous.
It really limits what I can do because I'm immediately like overheated and gonna pass out.
Maybe you have to pant like a dog. Maybe get the dog gene.
I'll kangaroo myself. I'll lick my arms so I can evaporate.
This is a little weird. They're playing basketball together.
I thought it was weird that they were all at this club. I know Jerry and Elaine go there. I didn't think George or Kramer went there. It's weird that they're playing with someone. Like, I know that it says that they all knew Jimmy from before, but like, how did he come to join their basketball team?
I think that was the first time that they met him, right? Like, George couldn't remember his name. I think it was just like a game of pickup basketball, and then he could jump really high, and then George was like, I really felt like there was a synergy between us. Here's my number.
I misunderstood. I thought they knew him from before.
No. He was new in town.
Oh, I guess they wouldn't know him.
Yeah.
Do people legitimately sweat like that under pressure, or is that a cartoon thing?
I don't know. I think to a degree.
There's like a body response to stress, but it's not dripping sweat down your face.
I mean, it's a bit of a trope, but
yeah, I'm picturing Jordan Peele meme of him just like
flop sweat.
Yeah.
So after the gym, Jerry's on his way to the dentist. He's got a Penthouse magazine right out in the open.
Weird. There's Penthouse at the dent house. Have you ever bought a Penthouse?
I don't know if I've ever bought a pornographic magazine.
Is that what that is, or are there like articles?
Penthouse?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Like, I know in Playboy they have like how to set up your hi-fi. And like interviews with people. I think Penthouse in my mind is more like raunchy and just like.
And then the letters. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. We can go and pick one up and.
Where?
I don't know, the Quickie Mart.
They don't have magazines at the Quickie Mart.
Where's a man to go to get a pornographic magazine in today's day?
I think you got to go to the smoke shop.
Maybe.
Yeah. The Velvet Fog.
What the hell is a velvet fog?
It's a weird nickname. That sounds like a, first level spell area effect.
I cast velvet fog.
Yeah.
You did laugh when Jerry said, what the hell is a velvet fog?
Or a drink, like a London fog.
Ooh, yeah.
But like a darker London fog. Mm. He says, I can't watch a man sing a song. And you know what? I couldn't watch him sing either.
There was a lot of cringe in this episode.
Ugh.
There was like...
Are we going to just talk about Kramer's?
Well, we'll get there. But like there was this like weird homophobic, I can't watch a man. I can't tell. Like I can't...
Okay.
I can't tell Elaine if I find a man handsome.
You can't find beauty in a man? I find them repugnant.
And then Kramer walked in.
Kramer eats a Red Delicious.
Trash
I
apple.
guarantee it's a Red Delicious.
Looks very much like a Red Delicious.
I couldn't decide if it was a red pepper or an apple until he bit it.
So there's can't look at a man. Homophobic to say a man is attractive. The whole Kramer Novocaine punched in the mouth thing. Jerry getting sexually assaulted.
Yeah. And especially what Elaine says to him in the coffee shop. Let's just skip ahead. He thinks that maybe he got taken advantage of when he was under for a filling. And she goes, so what?
You're still single.
I wrote, so what? And joined the club?
I'm damaged goods.
What does that mean? Also, how much didn't they give Jerry to knock him out? Like, you don't go unconscious for a filling.
I mean, you can.
I wish our dentist had nitrous. They don't use it there. So you either get numbing through a needle or nothing.
Mm.
And so I've gotten a filling done with nothing.
Mm.
It's terrifying.
You get a needle?
Because I don't want a needle in my face either. But at my old dentist in Toronto, they had nitrous. It was beautiful. It smelled funny. You relax. Things are happening and you don't care.
Mm.
There was no sexual assault. And then you go home.
I don't know if I've ever had nitrous.
Oh, it's delightful.
Mm.
If they give you the right amount, like you wouldn't be out.
You want to go to the Quickie Mart, pick up some whipped cream and Penthouse magazines?
And Tim Watley takes a whiff before he starts.
Oh, yeah. So this is a famous story that Tim Watley will tell or has told multiple times. Do you know it?
No.
So Bryan Cranston was like on set that day and they were doing like a walkthrough of like, okay, like she's going to hand you the thing, you're going to hand in like whatever. And then Jerry had to leave to go and film another scene. And Bryan Cranston stayed like in that set and he was kind of like getting set up, make sure he felt comfortable. And there was like a maintenance guy on a ladder, like fixing a light or a lighting guy or something. And he says like, oh, it'd be funny is if before you put the mask on him, if you take a big whiff of it. And so he did without telling anybody who was going to do it. And Jerry Seinfeld apparently like laughed so hard he fell out of the chair.
I love that.
And then they kept it in.
One for you, one for me.
Mm-hmm.
So back to when they're talking about, could you comment on the attractiveness of a man? Who says George Will? Kramer?
Kramer says George Will, yeah.
Do you know who that is?
No.
I looked him up. He's a foreign affairs columnist. He looks like a much younger Mitch McConnell, sort of.
Like Franklin the Turtle?
Yeah, a little bit. Like a Bill Gatesy kind of turtle, blonde with glasses, conservative man. But the article that I found, the title of it was, George Will is actually kind of a madman. I haven't read it yet, but it looks good. Kramer in the dentist chair is very Mr. Bean at the dentist. Mr. Thirsty gets stuck on his tongue and yeah. I'm surprised they didn't have Kramer trying to like drill his own teeth and like cement them and then get his teeth stuck together.
Well, it's only a 20-minute episode, Katie.
Yeah.
So This is a little bit of a makeover that Tim Watley has gone through since we last saw him.
Yeah, he shaved his beard.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
His clothing is different. He's got like orgy friends now.
I guess so.
He has an earring. Do you have an earring before?
I don't remember the earring. He's got an earring and like a kind of a puffy shirt.
Yeah, I said he got a porn makeover.
Let's talk about Kramer, I guess.
Okay, so he gets the Novocaine.
Yep. He's wearing the stretch shoes.
Yep.
Let's not talk about it. The whole thing is very uncomfortable.
The whole thing is very uncomfortable. Also, how much the audience was laughing at everything was very uncomfortable as well.
I was going to say, is this like 90s normal, or in the 90s would we have been like...
I feel like it's 90s normal.
Ugh.
Apparently, though, Mel Torme, when he was singing to Michael Richards, did the entire song in one take. And his acting was so well done that Jason Alexander worried that nobody had told Mel Torme, like filled him in on the plot at all. And he thought that maybe Mel Torme thought that Michael Richards was actually a mentally disabled person. But apparently they had worked together before and he was just a really good actor.
Oh, there you go. Well, I mean, he's been in Bugs Bunny's Spooky Adventure or whatever it was.
Halloween Hijinks.
That's it. Have you ever had a Mr. Goodbar?
I don't think so.
Me neither.
Are they like Eatmores?
I kind of thought so. It looked like a lot of stuff in Jerry's mouth. Peanuts, probably peanuts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love Eat More. I think I'm the only person that buys Eat More.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, keeping that industry totally afloat.
I really like them. That's all I have. I just wrote oof and underlined it.
Yeah, so Elaine's attracted to a man that turns out to be homosexual. She ends up going out with Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, not much there.
No.
George is stealing...
He's not, though.
He's accused of stealing sports equipment from the Yankees.
He isn't. He gets out of it by referring to himself in the third person in front of George Steinbrenner.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's time for George's lunch.
Oh, that's what we have here. Ham and cheese. And she didn't put any of the fancy mustard on it.
She made up with it for the cupcake. She made up for it with the cupcake.
You know, that fancy mustard tastes pretty good. You put that fancy mustard on a shoe, it tastes pretty good to me.
God.
You know, I got a new method of eating these cupcakes. Start at the bottom, work your way to the top, eat the icing last. Kind of like dessert for dessert.
So I have some corrections. Last episode, we talked about when George's parents split up. It was in The Chinese Woman, episode 4 of season 6. So you were right, it was this season. About 12 episodes ago.
That was 12 weeks in our time.
You said 6, and I said 25, so we were kind of both right.
I was closer.
In Jerry's opening stand-up, he talked about the doorman strike, and we couldn't remember what the other job was.
Oh, yeah?
It was Squeegee Kid.
Okay.
It's not really a job.
No, I don't think they could go on strike.
The 1991 doorman strike involved 15,000 doormen, elevator operators, and handymen. Elevator operators. I read an article from a resident of a fancy building, and it said they knew it was coming. They were prepared. They put off renovations in the building. They set up a buddy system for like residents with mobility issues. They even delivered and picked up their own dry cleaning.
The sacrifices they made.
I know. There was nearly a strike in 2010 and 2022. Would have been 30,000 people. Fraser lived in the Elliott Bay Towers.
Oh, yeah.
So we also had a lengthy argument about who assigns postal codes.
Oh, yeah.
It's Canada Post.
Okay. I don't think they should have that power.
So nationally, their postal codes only started in 1975. It's not that long ago. Before that, there was like regional stuff, like something would be addressed to Toronto 5. So there'd be like a number, city and like a district number. But it's hard to sort that. So the Postal Union opposed postal codes and asked people not to put the postal code on stuff when it started because the people who ran the sorting machines were paid less than people who sorted mail by hand.
Oh.
Darn unions. There was an ad at the time that Canada Post put out. It showed a man writing a postal code on the bottom of a woman wearing a thong with the following ditty. We're not stringing you along. Use postal codes. You'll thing our thong. Don't be cheeky. You've all got 'em. Please include them on the bottom. They got in a lot of trouble for that. But I think it's good. Did you know that all letters to Santa Claus written to Santa Claus North Pole, HOHOHO, are responded to?
Oh, yeah.
And they are responded to in the language in which they're written.
Oh, wow.
And they get letters from all over the world, approximately 1 million every year.
Sounds like a logistical nightmare.
They get volunteers and like retired postal workers to answer them.
Yeah, but like, what if you get something written in...
You gotta find a person who speaks it or...
Esperanto.
Google Translate that. I'm sure there's a form letter response for every language.
Sure, yeah. Every language?
Everyone they've got so far.
I did have 2 omissions. I can't remember if these are from last episode or from previous episodes.
Mm-hmm.
One, you asked me who I would say you look like.
Okay.
And I should have said Detox. We also argued about Sir Lee.
We did?
You said he was from Iron Chef.
No, I did not. When was this? I didn't say Lee was on Iron Chef.
You did. Check the tapes.
Go on.
And he was a contestant on Iron Chef, and he was a chef on Iron Chef Canada.
I don't remember this argument, but it sounds like I was right on both counts.
Iron Chef Canada is not Iron Chef.
Okay, the next episode is The Doodle.
Yep.
What's it about?
I wish I was taller.
I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl. If I did, I would call her.
Elaine tries to get a cartoon published in the New Yorker.
Oh, fun.
I think... Oh, okay, I won't say anything.
Well?
I think we have the introduction of an iconic character.
Does some go away? I feel like Tim Watley's been around a lot.
People come in and come back, right? And he was gone for a couple episodes, and now he's back, and...
All sleazy.
Okay, so I've never taken nitrous oxide.
You mean you've never been administered it at the dentist's office?
Yes.
Okay.
You can cut this out.
I won't.
Jerry seemed pretty knocked out there.
Yeah.
Like when you're knocked out, your body goes limp, right?
Sure.
Your entire body goes limp.
Sure.
So how was he? He was used.
Was he though?
But how was he used?
If they did stuff, I assumed they were just doing stuff together, and it's like the thrill of there's a patient in the room, blah 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 blah. I didn't think Jerry was involved at all, but he thinks that his shirt had been tucked.
Yeah, so they
and then it was untucked.
Seems like a lot of work to check out a flaccid penis. I don't want to. I don't want to ick your yum.
I hate that.
Well, on that bombshell, see you next week.
Bye.
If you want to have some fun, don't ick my yum. Believe it or not, this is our podcast. Please subscribe at the end. If you subscribed, we would be happy. Please subscribe to us. Believe it or not, it's our podcast.
Is that a Seinfeld reference?